garbage in the alley. He just told me that last night when he was throwing out garbage, he saw a prostitute sucking someone's dick. I said, oh yeah, so I think I'm going to quit. He looked at me and said, oh shit, really? Okay. He was nodding. Man, that sucks though. We all really like you and everything. Oh man, I said, thanks. We threw out the rest of the garbage without speaking. Then he noticed my boots. My boots were brown, but I'd colored them black with a permanent marker. I ordered black, but then they sent me brown, I said, explaining it to him. Then, before he reacted, I said, best of both worlds, and thought about how that didn't mean what I meant. I felt like saying, hey, just so you know, again, I quit. And for about 8 seconds, the idea of not having a job made me feel like I could do anything I wanted, but there was nothing I wanted. Now, I'm going to read the piece that's in this Clash book, and you can buy them off of
Flashbooks.com.
Yeah. All right, this is called Video Game Guy Upstairs. The guy who used to live right above me played video games a lot, sometimes for consecutive days, real loud during all times of the day. He'd yell at the video games and break things in his apartment while playing. He'd yell, fucking goddamn stupid bullshit, and stomp on the floor a lot, and then there'd be a scary sound of something breaking or him screaming. I liked him. He was very creative with his swearing. His swearing was always new and bold, like it was always some variation of fuck with shit or goddamn. Like, fucking goddamn bullshit motherfucker, I shot that motherfucker in the head. Or, fucking bullshit, I blew that asshole up with a fucking motherfucking grenade. His stomping was also impressive. It seemed genuine and full of anger. I felt the anger in each stomp. If I had to guess, I'd say his stomps involved both feet at the same time, throwing his upper body backwards. If I had to guess, I'd say his stomps involved imaginary heads beneath both feet, and blood, and death, and motherfucking goddamn bullshit. The first time I went upstairs and knocked on his door to ask him to stop, he didn't respond for a few minutes. He just lowered the volume on the video game. When I knocked some more, he opened his door a little. He looked very small and scared and tired. I said, are you playing video games loudly and yelling a lot? He said no, but that yes, he had heard it, and then he said he thought that sound was coming from across the hall. When I told him I lived beneath him and could hear, quote, like stomping and yelling too, he said no, but that yes, he had heard it, and man, he thought that sound was coming from my apartment. I didn't say anything for a little bit. I just maintained eye contact. Then I said, oh, all right, thanks, and walked back downstairs. A couple days later, he was yelling and breaking things really early. I went back upstairs. It was weird trying to think of what to say. Are you supposed to say, hey, me again? Or, remember me? I paused halfway up the stairs and thought of multiple scenarios, like him answering the door and denying it again, and me nodding and saying, okay, but this is your last chance. And then I'd turn and jump down the stairs to the next floor. Or him answering the door and denying it, and then I ask him to help me find the apartment where the screaming and stomping were coming from, and then we become best friends as we solve the mystery of who's playing video games and stomping and yelling. Or him answering the door, me nodding upwards and saying, need a friend? Then walking into his apartment and picking up a video game controller and being his friend. Or him answering the door and me just running back downstairs, tripping down the last 3 stairs and breaking my ankle and hitting my face against the wall. Or him answering the door, me smiling and pointing and saying, hey, just wondering if you could stop screaming at the video game you're playing. And then he says, of course, my child, and disappears into a pale blue light. And I walk into his apartment and play the video game alone, and someone knocks on the door and asks me to stop yelling and stomping. It'd be great if he was just doing a puzzle and he came to the door, opened it, then casually said, yes, what is it? I'm doing a puzzle. Gesturing into his apartment where there was a partially constructed puzzle on the floor. But it didn't matter because he just turned down the volume when I knocked and didn't answer the door. The last time I interacted with Video Game Guy upstairs was right before he moved out. He was playing video games loudly, yelling and stomping his feet. From my room right below, I yelled, shut the fuck up. He turned down the video game and stopped yelling and stomping. It made me want to yell, pay my rent too and buy me a fucking hermit crab. That's it.
Woo! Sam Pink!